Hi everyone, I'm Angela. Welcome and welcome back to Angela's Fashion Mix and day number 11 of my 12 days of Christmas. We are almost there. Happy Christmas Eve to you all. If you are new here, I thank you for watching. And if you have not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, like, and share the videos. There is a bit more to come. So for today, I am talking about pattern matching and how that affects whether or not what you're wearing, especially if it's a print, whether or not it looks more pulled together and polished, or whether or not that kind of cheapens the look of the garment. Now, we can pay a lot of money for something, but if the pattern matching is off, then I think that can definitely affect the overall appearance. So, I'm going to show you 3 examples of what I mean with regard to pattern matching. And it primarily has to do with a print and whether or not those edges line up, whether or not the design itself lines up, and how the overall look comes together based on corners and edges and seams. So for this particular garment, as you can see, there's lots of pattern and detail here on the blazer. Now you can't see it quite as much here on the front, although you do kind of notice here where it gets a little bit off from side to side. You've got this design going here, but you don't see a match over on this side. You kind of lose it up in here. Collar is looking pretty good, but then you get down here, it gets a little bit distorted. And as you get here below the button, you've got an orange flower here. You don't have a mate for it on this side. It gets a bit more noticeable in the back along the seam where you can clearly see that the leaves here on the floral don't match. You can see that here along the collar, you've got this detail, but it is a bit off center. And you've got this bold black portion here. There's nothing that goes with it on this side. The whole design has changed on this side of the garment. That's one way. It also shows up really well in stripes and plaids and things of that nature. Now, I've shown you this blazer before, and overall, it's a great looking piece. None of this keeps me from buying the garment, just depending on what it is, but I also am very aware of what these things look like. So in this particular print, it's a houndstooth print, and you can clearly see these spaces here are evenly matched across the board. But along the seam, now you've got a wider section here of this color, and there's a wide space right along here, and it widens toward the top, going up to the collar. Now that does not match what else is going on here. So this is where it got off. You've got this deep V here, and it's not lined up properly. Now let me show you what a properly aligned piece will look like. And a lot of times you're going to see that from one brand to another, which is why I always mention Talbots. I love Talbots as a brand, but I've also found that across the board with their pieces, for the pieces that I have found, that their pattern matching is typically on point. So from the front, you can get a real idea of what I'm referencing with regard to patterns side to side. Now, if you pull this piece together and pulled it together here on the hem, you can see from one side to the other, there's a match there. You really can notice it here in the back along the seam. You've got this side, and it lines up pretty much perfectly with this side of the blazer. Right here, points are meeting points, design is meeting design. Where it comes up into the collar here, you with the spaces that you can see, you see a set of everything that you see. The border along the collar lines up. Here on the sleeve, you have this detail showing over here. You also have the same detail showing over here, and you pretty much see the same amount of what's here. Also on the hem, you can see on the border, you don't see more on one side of the hem than you do the other. It lines up, and that's what we should be expecting when we pay more for our garments. We should expect that these spaces are going to be symmetrical, and when they don't line up, I think you lose a little bit of the polish and the elegance of what the outfit or the garment is supposed to offer. So I just wanted to share a little bit about that with regard to pattern matching. If it's something you just want to pay a little bit of attention to when you're making a selection of an item that has a print, you kind of want to make sure that things line up and look as best it can based on the details. It's all about the details when it comes to matching a pattern. I hope this helps. Everyone, I thank you for watching. I hope everyone has been safe and warm through the storms. Look like for here it's kind of passed over. And I wish you all a very Merry Christmas Eve. And I hope to see you all tomorrow for day number 12 of my 12 days of Christmas. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you soon. Bye.